Many of you can yesterday get a chance to review the questions, whatever Mahajan shared. Yesterday, he given three interviews. One is Tata LXI, one is Sign Up. It's a product-based company. Sign Up is a very good company, and another one is this one, what we call Hexaware or something. Uh, don't know. Harmon, sorry. So these are the three companies yesterday he given. Yogesh also have. These are the people who does not know them. These are the people who are from Dispatch, your DevOps batch. Okay, so they are also having some experience, but they are able to get the interviews calls. So many people now started getting calls. I told right, it will be start sooner for many people. So how many of you actually get a chance uh, to see that particular thing? Go ahead. I think Krupa, right? Krupa Charan. Can unmute, guys. Did you seen? Are you able to like at least understand the answers of this one? What we call your AWS part. Fine, fine. If you're able to understand, it's good. Okay, so that was the reason I was telling, right? Like whatever I'm giving you, today I'm feeling bit better, so I will prepare 10 projects, and then 10 projects will be relatable to you. First 10 projects will be for DevOps also as today I'll prepare and then show you, and then I will provide you. Fine. Any doubts from the last topic what we talked from the IAM perspective? Anything where you have still any confusion with respect to identity access manager? Anyone? Venkat, Shravani, Rupa, Sharan. Fine. So today, what exactly we will be doing in today's class? What exactly we will be today class? We will be moving one more part which is related to your this one, which is related to your one component called load balancer. Okay. So I have actually talked this topic in a very detail, but let's try and see one more time today. See the this one practical implementation also. So my topic is today is load, and that too is AWS load balance. Okay. So when we say about AWS load balancer, what exactly it means, or what exactly. So how many of you having any idea what exactly load balancer? How many of you and have an idea that what exactly it's a load balancer? What exactly it means? Before I'll start and telling. Any one of you? We have not covered, right? A load balancer in this batch. Just let me.
No, sir, actually.
Fine, 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 fine. I think DevOps I have talked about, not here. Hmm. Yeah. Tell me, like any idea about this load balancer or not? Okay. Let me tell you what exactly this load balancer. So let's start from here. For an example, you have one EC2 instance, general scenario, and one user is there. This is an user, this is an EC2 instance, and this is making it over here. Okay. What exactly this scenario I'm talking about? Scenario is, let's say, EC2 instance is there, and here what exactly it is there? A bank application is running. Fine. What exactly happened? This is an EC2 instance, and there is a bank application is running. And what is happening from here? Let's say 1,000 messages are going, 1,000 transactions are going. Screen is visible to everyone. It's not looking small and all. Okay, so
Yes,
1,000
sir.
are going over there. Now, what exactly happened when 1,000 transactions are going? It's fine. That is from the single user. Okay. Now, let's assume this CPU of 4 cores. Okay. RAM is of RAM is of again 4 GB. Let's say 100 GB. When this much is this is the configuration. This is the configuration of our system, which actually it is running. The EC2 instance and bank app is running. Now what will happen? Let's say again add a user. Let's say again add a user. And this user also starting using this server and is also pushing to the bank server. To the bank server. This particular user. Okay. Similarly way, let's create one more user. Create one more user. This also started creating the same thing. And it also started sending the data to the bank server. Right? Let's say one more user added. User added. This is also sending the data to the bank server. So now what happened? Per user, they start sending the data. So this is also sending send messages. Send messages. This is also sending 1,000 messages. This is also sending 1,000 messages. 1,000 messages. 1,000 messages. And this is also 1,000 messages are going. Now, for a fine being, understand one part. When I'm sending 1,000 messages, the events are going correctly. The messages are going correctly. When again I'm sending 1,000 messages, I see it's going correctly. Again sending 1,000, it's going correctly. In total, I was now able to send 3,000 EPS. Till 3,000 EPS, everything went well. Everything went well. Now, scenario came where it reached to 4,000 EPS. EPS means event per second. Okay, event per second. When it is reached to 4,000 EPS, there is a data loss started. There is a data loss started. Means server crashed. Server crashed. Exactly it means here our server starting now crashing. Here our server now started crashing. What happened actually? This particular server, which have been designed for only 1000 EPS, which having this much of RAM, storage, and CPU, the server start getting crashed. Okay, that is the biggest problem. It happened because server is not actually able to load it. Some of the time when you are making uh, some of the time whenever you are making a payments, okay, or whenever you are setting up, whenever you are sending some data, at that time if you do some payments part, so at that time it is going to fade it. Okay, so now this is the problem statement, right? So sometimes when you do a payment also from Paytm or GPay or any of the component, this kind of a similar issue is happening. So what is the solution over there? So in this particular scenario, there is a solution will be there which actually talks about how this configuration can be balanced, or how this configuration is actually going to be deployed, how it is going to be deployed. Okay, so what exactly it is going to be? So now we have to see how we can achieve it. So what exactly we are going to deploy? So let's say this is the first part. So what I'll do, I will add one component. I will add one component. And let's say bank app is running over here. Make it this one only. And let me delete this. Let me delete this part and and let's say placed a load balancer. Load balancer. Load balancer. So what will actually happen? I have placed one load balancer over here. I have placed one load balancer now over here. Now what will happen? Whatever the data is coming, it is coming at the load balancer first. Okay, load balancer first. Now what will happen? This is one part where the load balancer have been created. Now I see that now I see that the load of the bank application have been increased. Like one server cannot be able to do it. So in that particular scenario, what I will do, I'll create few more server. Server 1, server 2, and then I'll create server 3. Server 1, server 2, and server 3. One server 2 and server 3. And what exactly I will be doing it, I will be giving a same configuration like this one, all the application. Okay. Okay. So what will happen? Let's say, let me give this name of this app. Let's say Ranjit Bank app. Okay. So what will I will do? I will create a same app in all these three components. All these three servers, sorry. All these three servers, I will be adding it. Ranjit Bank app. Okay. And then what exactly I'll do? I'll come over here and make it paste over here. So now what happened? I have created three same server, three same application into three different server. Fine. Now, sorry, sorry. So now what exactly it has happened? Now data is accumulating over here. Data is accumulating over here. Let's say data is getting here 1 lakh data store or 10 lakh data store. Data is coming to load balancer because it is a big component which we have divided. Now what will happen when this much of data will come? Load balancer will check each node. Okay, load balancer will check each node or server, or let me give it as a name also, like server 1. Let's say server 1. Okay, let's say server 2, then server 3. Let's say server 3. These are the three I have created. Server 1, server 2, and server 3. Now what will happen? Now load balancer will check, okay, at server 1, if I'm going to send 2K EPS, whether the space is there or not, whether this server is ready to take the load or not. So what server is checking, that whether what is the CPU resources is actually available CPU available, as well as RAM and storage. Everything it will check. RAM and storage, everything it will check on this part. Okay. So what will happen? He will check. Okay, if this is less loaded, so let's send some 10 kps to this one. Fine. Some 10K EPS to this one. Then what exactly it happened? If something it can find that okay, it is loaded, let's send it to this one. And let's send some data to this particular one. So now what will happen? Now whatever the ingestion was coming or whatever the data is coming, okay? Now it starting getting accumulated into the multiple server. Started accumulating into the multiple server. What exactly it mean? Till now, if you see the problem statement asks where your common server was there. In a common server, you will be having a number of users which is keep sending the data. Okay, which is keep sending the data, and highly chances are there if a load is going to be increased, then this is going to be crash. Then this is going to be crash. But once this load balancer come into the picture, then it is going to preserve your network or preserve your this thing. Now, you might be having one more question in your mind that, okay, or if you are not getting that question, though I can help you to understand that question. This is also an application. Load balancer is also an application. This is a load balancer which is before AWS. Okay, this is something which is already was there, which you are now configuring it in a different scenario. So now, when I say load balancer, think of that there could be probability, there could be there could be probability that this load balancer can also go down. Load balancer can also go down. If that scenario come, if that scenario come, what exactly it is going to be happen? That all the services can break. All the, for an example, over here, if this thing is going to be down, what is going to be happen? Load LP going down, so all services will down. Space, let me. Okay. Sorry. If load balancer go down, what will happen? all the service will go down, right? So because this is also a product, this is also something which is developed by us only. So if this will go down, what will happen? All the flow which is going over here, all the flow which is going over here, or all the flow which is going over here, everything will be going to be break. This is all things communication will be break. Now nothing will communicate and work. So what is going to be happen in this such scenario? What exactly going to be happen in this such scenario, and what will be the option then to perform it? So what exactly we will do in this particular scenario? What will happen? We'll do in this scenario that so this particular scenario which we just now talk about, it is load balancer in an standalone in an okay, this is a standalone mode. A single load balancer is there. But I see a risk over there. If this is crashed, then everything gone. So what is the alternate? So the alternate for this particular scenario is load balancer in an HE mode. Load balancer in an HE mode. As of now, I have not came to the AWS based load balancer. As of now, I am trying to make you understand what exactly the concept is. Fine. So now I have a load balancer in an HMO. When I say load balancer in HMO, what exactly it means? It means actually I will be setting now a similar load balancer, a similar load balancer, which is actually dealing over here, which is actually placing just front of the application. It's actually placing just front of the application. Okay. And there are now two load balancers will be available. There are now two load balancers will be available in front of you. Let's say how is it? Now this is the two load balancer you are going to see in front of you, and how that functioning is going, I'll tell you. So this particular load balancer is connected with this one. This particular load balancer is connected with this one, this one. This particular load balancer is connected with this one, and let's let's see, this load balancer is also connected with this one. Okay, the same load balancer is connected with this one. The same load balancer is connected with this one. So now what happened, I have made a configuration in such a way that both load balancer is connected with all the servers. That is the first thing which you are doing it over here. That is the first thing which you are doing over here for server 1, server 2, server 3. Now what exactly it happened? Now exactly what happened from here, this load balancer, whenever we are configuring it, what exactly we will do, there is one more component come into the picture. There is one more component come into the picture. What is that component? Let's see now very carefully. Over here, let's say this is denoted as LB1. This is denoted as LB1, and I have given an IP 10.31.24.56. Okay, this is the IP I have defined it. Fine. And what exactly I did? 10.24.31.41 something I have defined it. Let's take a same IP, go over there and just make it as 6. This is the 2 IP, load balancer IP. Fine. And what exactly it is going to be? This is your load balancer IP. This is your load balancer IP. Now, what will happen? Control C. You can have a server IP also over there. So let's assume this one is your 7. Let's assume this one is your oops. Okay, this one is your this one is your 8, and let's denote this IP to make more understandable. And this one is your third server. Okay, that is your 9. So what will happen? What will happen? All of the three IPs are configured. Now, what actually happened means I have installed load balancer in both of the servers. Load balancer is also installed in server only. Load balancer is just a second. Let me plug the power on button. Hmm. So what exactly will happen? Load balancer also involved in a server, and this is also configured. So now what exactly happened in this particular scenario? Now when you configure in such a way, so you have to use one more configuration. Conf is there. Config. Config is there. Okay. So let's say you have written one config. This config is basically means you will be defining LP1 IP. Then you will be defining LP2 IP. Then you will be defining server 1 IP. Then you will define server. Then you will define server 3. That is a config you should be placing in load balancer 1. Okay. In load balancer 1, you will be providing it, and same config you will be providing in load balancer 2. Both of them will be available under the product. Okay. Remember this thing. This will be, you will be providing under the product. Okay. So this is first part. Now, now again there is a confusion happen. Again, there is a confusion happen. Now, when a user will start sending the data, okay, when the user starts sending the data, let's this part over here, this part over here, this part over here, and this part go over here, and loadable in the standalone and achievable. Now, what will happen when users start sending the data? So, what is going to be happen in that part? What is the problem you are seeing over here? Can someone able to recognize what is the problem is happening over here?
How does the load balancer recognize each other?
Is anyone is able to see any problem?
Hello?
What is the problem is happening in this architecture? Charan, what problem you see over here? For a user, recognition. What is recognition? That is the load balancer problem. Each other. Now that okay. That part, somehow you are nearby, but little bit here and there. Fine, fine. Krupa, what do you understand? What is the problem you see? Sorry. Destination serve. Fine, 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 fine. What else? Venkat, Krupa, Shravani. Shravani, you are same, right? Now that girl which you both come together. Another one, the name with M. Uh, you are that Shravani only, right? Which data should send? Fine, very good. Venkat, what do you understand? What do you understand? Okay. The problem is here is exactly that user will be confused like where the data should go now, because we have defined so many components in between we don't know. On top of it, load balancer is sorry, load balancer is also now two servers are there. So where my data, and my original server is back of the file, okay, or back of this one, back of this one. So what exactly it is? What exactly it is there? It is actually second. Just a second. So what exactly it happened? This data, whenever it is coming in, so user need to be in confusion. So there is one more component come into the picture, that is called it as your virtual IP. That is called it as virtual IP. That is your virtual IP. Virtual IP is an IP which actually does not have a physical presence. But means IP is there. Okay, IP is there. IP is there, but not associated with associated with any of the server. Not associated with any of server. Not associated with hardware. Okay, not associated with hardware. Virtual IP is there, but not associated with hardware. Hardware means whenever, like for example, you are creating an EC2 instance, so you can access it. Then you are getting an IP. Then you are getting an IP. But in this scenario, virtual machine EC2 instance, you are not going to create it just using an IP. So let's say you will be having an IP called it as 26 is there, no? So let's say 10 dot 31 dot 24 dot let's say 3. This is your virtual IP. So now what will happen? User will make a request to this virtual IP. User will make a request to this virtual IP. Similarly, way this particular user who is also available, he also going to be interact with this particular virtual IP. Particular virtual IP. Similarly, for this particular user also, for this particular user also, he is going to interact with virtual IP. Similarly, way this particular user, which is the next user, is actually going to associate with the virtual IP. Okay, let me place this over here. Now what will happen? Virtual IP. In the config only, we will be defining it. That is which LB, which load balancer is going to act as a primary or secondary. Okay, over here only we will be defining the primary load balancer. PLB I am talking about, and this one I am talking about SLB. SLB, secondary load balancer. So in the config only, we will be defining which is going to be where, and virtual IP will interact with that particular load balancer. Means it is going to interact in this way. Going to interact in this one, like which will be the first primary load balancer will be there. It directly interact. If this go down, it will interact with this virtual IP. Means 1024.3 will interact with 6 and it become a common component. If it is going down, then it is going to take another IP. So that way, this complete component is going to be work in this particular scenario. This particular scenario. Just a second. So basically what happened now, even though user is going down, either even user is not implementing anything or any problem it is showing, then what exactly happened? Data can be transferred to any of the places. That is called the common general load balancer. Within this load balancer, we will be having we will be having the data formulation to go. Data formulation to go. That is your round robin policy. Round robin policy. Okay. Round robin policy. It can be round robin means in a common place and a single shot data should go. Another way is your aggregation preferred policy. Preferred policy. What exactly this mean is like the data should be travel in different formulation. Data should be travel into different formulation. Okay. With respect to this part in a load balancer, with respect to this part in a load balancer, what will happen? You should be having with respect to this part, data can be accommodated this all part. Okay, as of now, this part only. Now, now, so this is a generic load balancer. Generic means this is actually the core concept how load balancer is working. It is whatever load balancer, AWS, Azure, GCP, things will work in this one. Then naming convention is going to be different. Now tell me, now tell me what exactly, like where exactly you have a confusion. Now tell me where exactly you have confusion now. Any confusion till over here? Anything which you feel that okay, you are still having doubt? So tell me what exactly you have going on. All clear. Okay. What exactly other part that other from Charan? Any other person? Any other person having confusion? Shravani, Venkat, for you because Charan and Krupa is there in DevOps classes also. What about you? Are you able to take it? Able to get it? What exactly it is happening? Any doubts, Venkat, till this part? Fine. So I'm taking as in yes. Okay, and let's moving further. So now from here, what I'll do, I'll just uh, let me take a screenshot for this one. Let me take a screenshot for this one. And now from here, what exactly? Charan, drop this screenshot into this one, DevOps and AWS batch, both of there you drop. Now from here, what exactly if we will be going it from here? Now we will be moving towards the core AWS load balancer. Till now, it was a concept which I want to make you clear. But now from here, we will be doing an AWS load balancer part. Let's make it as a heading. AWS load balancer. Sorry, AWS load balancer in cloud. In cloud. So this is the component what we are going to discuss. We are going to discuss over here. So what will happen when we talk about AWS load balancer? It basically a service that automatically distribute the incoming application or a network traffics across the multiple targets, such as your EC2 instances, containers, and IP addresses, as well as load balancer will ensure highly availability. Okay, it actually ensures your distributing and fault tolerance. So let's say I'll just dictate something very small. So what exactly this component which I'm mentioning over here is that load balancer. Load balancer is a service that automatically distributes incoming traffics incoming traffics from the applications or from the applications from the applications as well as from EC2 instances, containers, and IP addresses. Okay. So doing this particular part, this is the basic thing which load balancer actually do. It automatically distributes the traffic. And just now we see also in this one. But but what exactly it is going to be happen in this one going to be happen? There are actually multiple layers. Layer one, okay, layer two, okay, layer three, and let's say layer 4. Now we will talk about AWS based load balancer. Okay, the first load balancer in this one is your application ALB, application load balancer. Right there, ALB, application load balancer. Okay, this is the first load balancer you will be having over here. Okay, the second load balancer you have is your NLB, network sorry, load balancer. So that is your the second load balancer. Now they segregated into the form of naming convention. Then you have a classic load balancer, which we just now talked about. A classic load balancer, which we just now talked about in a detailed way. Okay. And the fourth load balancer which you have, that is your gateway load balancer. That is your gateway load balancer. This is your fourth. So these are the four different type of load balancer which is actually available into this one. Actually available into this one. Okay, so let me make it as a naming convention. So this is your application load balancer. This is your network load balancer, network node balancer. Okay, this is your your let's say classic load balancer, classic load balancer. Fine, and this is your classic load balancer, and the last one is your gateway load balancer. So now what we did, we started from a classic one, then we went to load balance standalone mode, then we came to gateway HA mode. Now we are again getting into some sections where we are talking about more components. What exactly application load balancer? Let's see over there. So this particular load balancer, this this is an interview question. Definitely for a freshers you will get it. Okay, the part and make it clear. Let me do some size. So what exactly happened? This load balancer, this load balancer operates at the layer number 7. It's at the layer number 7, in which it actually take a request on HTTP based. Okay. It handles. Now it started talking about features. As of now, we understand the concept. Now we are talking about this one. So it handles WebSocket. It handles WebSocket and HTTP traffic. Okay. It also integrates EC2 and EC2 okay. And it provides routing, which I talked over there as a round robin. That is what the application load balancer is doing. So application load balancer, whenever we are passing HTTPS, let's say I'm passing HTTPS and I'll pass some parameter over here, something like that. So what exactly? This is the first layer which is taken by the application load balancer. Generally, it is your the last layer of your implementation, right? Then it comes to network load balancer. So this is your application load balancer, first part. Fine. Now, the another one you have is your network load balancer. What exactly it will do? It operates, it operates at layer 7. It operates, not 7, it operates at layer 4. Okay. It is actually working on TCP and UDP. Working on TCP and UDP. It also forward traffic on based of IP and port. How to do that? What all do that? That I will show you practically. You don't have to worry about. It also provide it will also provide static IP address. Okay, so this is something a feature for network load balancer. Now coming to classic load balancer, what exactly it will do? So it support all features like just now we see. It support all features like HTTP, okay, HTTPS and SSL traffic and SSL traffic. Okay, so this is an older generation. This is an older generation, but as of now, recommendation is to use. Okay, so that is recommended. Why? Because it lack with some features. Generally, when we do a lab, we will see application load balancer end to end in a lab, and then you can able to correlate with the network load balancer. So we will see how the load is defined. Then another layer is gateway load balancer, which operate at layer 3. Operates at layer 3. Okay. It actually it combine transport network gateway as well as load balancer functionality. Load balancer used for scaling and firewall detection. So these are few features with respect to this load balancer also. So we will see how to set up these all load balancers into our environment. Okay, this is something load balancers, or I'll just do one thing. Load balancer. So something which is another layer which you have available over here like this. This is the top notch, and this top notch now segregated with oops top notch now segregated with multiple components or multiple load balancer. We will see by creating target groups. We will see by creating load balancers. We will see passing this all components into the practical implementation, and then you will be seeing this particular thing over there also. So let's say this one. This one. Okay, so this one. I'll drop this one also. Thanks for the last one. So now, so this is pretty much untheoretical part which I have to discuss. Okay, so probably tomorrow or might be we will be having a class, but in the evening time. Okay, and I'll see what time. I'll just drop you into the chat, and though it is an online class only, so it can be nearby 6 7, or let's say late evening. Okay, then we will be see a practical implementation. So please communicate this thing with your friends also that we will be having the classes, because 31st and 1st is off for you guys. So I'm trying to see how much we can accommodate in these weekends. Okay, because topic wise, your load balancer, SQS, and CloudTrail monitoring, and database. These are the few topics which is remaining. So I'm trying to accommodate those topics in this way. Fine. So tomorrow we will see end to end for load balancer, this practical part, and I will tell you the time what happened, because morning weekends batches are there. So evening only I will see for you guys. Fine. Sorry. It's please take care of yourself for this weather. It is actually hitting hard, so I got impacted. So try to protect yourself. Now, now tell me, clear from the load balancer part, doubts clear. Like we went very smooth, we went very slow to make you understand. We went very practical. Any doubts still to anyone?